Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to do, what I had planned to do yesterday was to have a video about the WatchTime show that just finished up in New York. But there was so much that happened and so much going on, I didn't get it done. So today what I want to do, I started getting everything ready and realized that the show was just, there was too much to it to try to rush anything. So today, what is today? Monday, the 29th, and tomorrow, Tuesday, the 30th, I'm going to have to make sort of a video that's going to cover 2 days. And then next Friday, I'm going to have another video based on the interviews that I did with these top independent watchmakers that were at the show. Okay, so let's get started. Friday was when it started. They have 2 days. The first day is 3 hours long, and it's from 5:30 to 8:30, and it's a cocktail hour and a light dinner. Fantastic. Really had a great time. I wore my Beauvais, so did my wife. The first thing we did as soon as we went in the door, there was a Beauvais there, and we talked to the guy, and it was great. And so there was anyway, it was a very good experience. Now, what I had been wanting to do for a long time now is try to get to the bottom of the fact that all of these guys who were really great watchmakers had used a lower hertz rate. They were making, their watches were 3 hertz, and most of them turned out to be 2.5 hertz, 18,000 vibrations per minute. That's what I'm going to talk about next Friday, because that was what I did. I went around and talked to these guys, and they were fantastic. It was really quite a lot of fun. Okay, so let's go on, take a look at what was going on. This is Kerry Vouten-Lanen. I went to him. He was one of the first people I interviewed. Gave me this great explanation, showed me how these beautiful watches he has, and that was a real treat. I'll talk more about that on Friday when we go into why they tend to use a lower hertz rate. The other thing, I kept running into people that I knew from video and online. Now, this is Jen Phil, and he was over looking at the Vacheron Constantins and thinking about the 56 and sort of getting into the Holy Trinity. And I'll talk about that more in a bit, because to me that was a very interesting, that whole thing is very interesting with the Val Fourier making a movement. Now this is where, and the guy I really want to see, this is Marco Lang, and Lang of Lang and Heyne, and his watches are just magnificent. And this is the one that I really have been saving for. This is the one that I want. It's called the Frederick III Caliber 6. Now, I want the one with the cream colored dial. But so we put them both there, one to see the back and one to see the front. In the back, you can see the Caliber 6. It has, the Caliber 6 in a way is harking back to the Caliber 1. It's hand wound. You have the big difference between the Caliber 6 and the Caliber 1, and from looking at it, is that the Caliber 6 has far less plates, and instead it has sort of this big bridge that goes all the way across and down to the bottom of the watch, and so it gives you a lot of view of what's going on, and what's going on is just this beautiful watchmanship. It's just amazing. And then there's a great big diamond I'm not talking about a little diamond. I'm talking about a big diamond that's right on top of the escapement. And then all of the caulk is engraved, and just a really a gorgeous watch. And so that's my Grail watch. That's the one I'm saving for. And one of the reasons I took up doing my own watchmaking, quote, was because it was less expensive than buying everything that sort of sparkled in front of my face, which I'm prone to do. So anyway, this was really one of the main things that I wanted to see and handle, and it was everything I had hoped it would be and more. Okay, this guy, Kaz, Kaz is on a lot of the. He's very active on a number of the Facebook pages as a collector and at the show. He's done a lot of stuff. He knows the people at Chopek, and he's a lot of fun, very fun guy to meet and hang out with, looking at watches. This is similar to Blanc Pond. Now, Blanc Pond exhibit there had this great big clock with the 50 Fathoms, and not only do I like the watch, I love the clock. Big old quartz clock, really. That black thing around my neck is this is my press pass, which is I got a kick out of. Okay, this is all on Friday night. This is David Greenspun. David is another guy who loves watches, and it was fun running into David. We had the next day on Saturday morning. All of us got together. Not all of us, but a lot of us got together at Starbucks ahead of time, and that was a lot of fun. I'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. Like I said, I didn't want to rush through any one of these. And later on, I had to leave the next day early, and David sent me pictures of this great dinner that Beauvais had, and he got invited to, and I was gone. He and Kaz got to go. Anyhow, but it was fun meeting everybody. Okay, the one of the things that I was very interested in, and fortunately, both of these watchmakers were there, and they were both had the watches that I was interested in. And the reason I was interested in it, and a lot of other people I think are interested in it too, is because the watchmaker or the movement maker is Val Fleurier. And Val Fleurier is owned by Richemont. And Richemont owns both Baume et Mercier and Vacheron Constantin. So they're both part of the Richemont stable, I guess you could say. I don't think they'd want to hear it described that way, but so I thought, well, I'm going to take a look at these in real life, and first of all, see how much difference there is. Well, of course, there is a difference. The Baume and Mercier, they did this design and so forth. They worked with Val Fleurier and came up with a really nice little base movement for their watches. Now, the reason this is important for Baume and Mercier is that this is really their first in-house movement. For years, they've been using ETAs and I don't know what else. But this is something that's very important to them. Now, on the other hand, when we look at the Vacheron Constantin 56, the caliber 1326, you have a really typical Vacheron Constantin, a lot of finishing. You have a gold rotor, and this gold rotor has the the Calatrava, not Calatrava, but the Maltese cross. as part of it, which is the logo for Vacheron Constantin 10. And the poor guy representing Vacheron Constantin had to listen to me go on about how it was really part of the Huguenot flag and had nothing to do with him. The thing that their guy said it was, but that who knows. Anyway, so that was interesting, and Jen Phil was there trying to figure it out, and when I looked at the Vacheron Constantin 56, the pictures of it, wasn't too sure about it, but looking at it in person, and my photograph is nowhere near as good as the professional ones. It is really a beautiful watch, a very, very good looking watch. Now it's $11,900, which is for a Vacheron Constantin almost half of what their usual entry level goes for. I don't know what they're considering entry level now, but I know this is, and it's a Vacheron Constantin. Now this is a stainless steel, but there's been a lot of stainless steels overseas. Quadrille, a lot of them are stainless steel, which is fine with me because I can't tell the difference between stainless steel and platinum and white gold when I look at them. Now, the Baume & Mercier Clifton is their entry level is $2,750 with their own in-house movement, which has, I think it's got like a 5-day reserve. That's a neat watch. I was talking to the people at the Baume & Mercier booth that they had, and this is what they call a Balmatic for the movement. This is a watch, I think, that to me looks like the perfect office watch. And by office watch, I mean the kind of watch you need a watch to, for day in and day out. You go to the office and you're checking the time and stuff. It's a good looking watch. It's got an in-house movement. 5 days, so you wind it up on Monday and you don't have to worry about it again until the weekend. So this is a nice watch too. It's got the leaf hands, which I happen to like a lot. And so when you compare these two, they're both in-house, but they're both in-house Val Fleurier. And it's sort of like they're in big house, the big house being Richemont. And yet the movements, if you look at the movements, it's not that the one in Baume & Mercier is bad, but when you compare it to a Vacheron Constantin, the finishing isn't up to that level. But neither is the price. And so you end up, I think these are two very good deals, and one that was sort of nice to see, quote, in person, and to get a sense of. Okay, well, like I said, that was the first night. That was 3 hours of meeting, greeting, and in my case, I interviewed a lot of people. Now, the next day, Saturday, was a lot more, and we started off with a meeting at the coffee shop around the corner. One of these days, I'll get one big enough. If we can find one that's near, open, and big for a Saturday morning meeting. Last year, there were just a couple of us, and we met in this really place that was dubious at best. This year, we met at Starbucks, which was a lot of fun. Talk about that tomorrow, so I have time to finish it up. Hope to see you then. Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.